It's time again for the Science Bowl.
Zoo Parade for 5. What big teeth the hippo has are actually a pair of these. Science Potpourri for 10. Would a snake most likely eat every day? Every week, Dateline Science for 10. Why are some elephants wearing necklaces these days? Green things for 15.
And now, here's your host, Mr. Z himself, Dave Zarin.
Thank you and welcome to this special edition of Science Bowl, the second of our two semifinals in the middle school competition. Today's winner plays Drew Freeman for this year's championship. Let's meet today's teams. First, from Kenmoor Middle School, please welcome to our program our first contestant, Ahmed Kamil, Vishnu Rachakanda, and Alex Yu. And from Martin Luther King Jr. Middle School, please say hello to Zachary Landau, Karthik Sundar, and Liam Greaves. And now here are the categories of questions we have on Science Bowl.
Okay, Mr. Z, here's today's categories. Green things, questions about plants and all things green and growing. Zoo Parade, a Noah's Ark of questions about animals. Body systems, we'll see how much you know about yourself, about things like breathing and growing and digesting your food. Let's get physical. Questions that test your knowledge of physics and chemistry, earth science and space science. Then there's Science Potpourri. Here's a grab bag of science questions, everything from air pollution to the kitchen sink. And finally, Dateline Science. We'll ask you about science history and science in the news.
Here on Science Bowl, question difficulty determines the placement of the questions on our board. 5 and 10-point questions, easier ones. Tougher ones worth 15, 20, and ultimately 25, the toughest question of them all. Both of our teams start out at 50 points. No penalties ever for incorrect answers. At the end of the 2 rounds, one of these 2 very talented teams will come back to play for the championship against Drew Freeman. Let's make sure everything works properly. Let's go to the red team. Vishnu, would you try your buzzer? Thank you, young man. Good luck to you, to Alex, and to Ahmed. And the green team, Karthik, try yours. Thank you, sir, and good luck to you, to Liam, and to Zach. And you are all veterans. You have all been here before, most of you in elementary school, and you're here with us still. So congratulations. You are just all the cream of the crop, and we're very lucky to have you with us. We go alphabetically. Let's have a good game. K before M. So, Kenmoor, let's play the bowl.
Body systems for 5, please.
Body systems for 5 points. Teams, speed skater Apollo Ono. Kenmoor.
Yawns before every speed skating match because...
You read our mind. Before every match. It's not because he's bored, but he's trying to get more oxygen into his body. What does he do? He yawns. And it's contagious. Watching him, everybody at home starts yawning. Try again. Red.
Zoo Parade for 15.
Zoo Parade, 15 points. Teams, it was back in 1936 that the Tasmanian wolf went extinct. It was a very unusual one of these kinds of animals because both... Yes, Martin Luther King. What do you think?
Marsupials?
Yes, indeed. It was a marsupial. I was about to say a very unusual marsupial because both males and females had pouches back then. Go, green.
Science Potpourri for 15.
Potpourri for 15 points. Teams, a multiple choice question. Some women who want to get longer eyelashes can use a medication because they are suffering from hypochondria, hyperopia, or hypotrichosis. Which of those 3, Kenmoor?
Hypertrichosis.
Hypertrichosis, absolutely right. Hypochondria is not in hyperopia is another way of expressing farsightedness. Go red.
Body systems for 10.
Body systems, 10 points. Teams, GERD, G-E-R-D, is a reflux disease involving what body tube? Martin Luther King.
Esophagus?
Absolutely right. That's the E in the G-E-R-D, gastroesophageal reflux disease. Nice disease. Nicely done. Go green.
Green things for 10.
Green things, 10 points. Teams, in the movie Avatar, all the plants glow in the dark, making them bio what? Making them bio what, King?
Luminescent.
Luminescent, absolutely right. Beautiful effect, too. Good. 85-70. King, go.
Zoo Parade for 10.
Zoo Parade, 10 points. Teams, the Gorgon Medusa must have given her hairdresser fits because she had a head.
Snakes. Snakes.
That's right, a head full of snakes. Yeah, perm that. Right, try it. Go, green.
Science Potpourri for 10.
Potpourri for 10 points. Teams, there may be a cure for color blindness, which afflicts mostly men who can't tell the difference. Kenmoor?
The cones are damaged. They can't see color because their cones are damaged.
Not quite, not quite, Martin Luther King. I was going for something more specific. People who have color blindness, and they are mostly men, can't tell the difference between what two colors?
Red and green.
Red and green, absolutely right, as the colors are right here on our set. Good, go, green.
Let's get physical for 10.
Let's get physical for 10 points. Teams, Orion the Hunter is a constellation. He has a shield and a club. Looks like he's about to clobber the next constellation. Martin Luther King.
Ursa Major.
Not Ursa Major. Orion the Hunter looks like he's about to clobber the next constellation, which is named for a bull.
Taurus.
Taurus is right there, about to get belted. Absolutely right. Good comeback. All right, Kenmoor up to 80. 105 King. Go Vishnu.
Let's get physical for 15.
Let's get physical for 15 points. Teams, the best batteries are not the rechargeable ones or the alkaline ones. They're the ones with Li in them. Kenmoor?
Lithium.
Lithium batteries seemingly are the best. They last the longest. Red.
Dateline science for 15.
Dateline for 15 points. Teams, when Mary Leakey found parts of ancient human heads and jaws in Tanzania in 1960, she was practicing what kind of science? What kind of science, Kenmoor?
Paleontology.
Paleontology, archaeology, or anthropology? We would have taken any of those three. Yes.
Body systems for 15.
Body systems for 15 points. Teams, a very unusual story. Children under the age of 12, if this organ in their body is diseased, they can receive a transplant. Yes, Martin Luther King.
Kidney.
Not the kidney. Good try. What organ can be transplanted into a young child if their organ is diseased? Then a few years later, when that original organ regenerates, the transplant can be removed.
Liver?
Liver, absolutely right. Actually, they stopped giving them immunosuppressive drugs, and the body kills what was in there, treating it as an alien, and then the child doesn't have to take drugs for the rest of his or her life. Red.
Dateline science for 10.
Dateline, 10 points. Teams, your question is as follows. Figuring if they don't fly, they can't bite, genetic engineers are creating mosquitoes with no what? Kenmoor.
Wings.
Wings, that's right. A flightless mosquito. What a great idea. Red.
Science potpourri for 25.
Potpourri for 25, the big one in that category, teams. Let me give you a score update. 135 Kenmoor, 105 Martin Luther King. This is 25 points in science potpourri. Here's the question. Teams, in order for a fetus to get oxygen from its mother's blood, it turns out that's only possible because what? Kenmoor.
Umbilical cord.
Not umbilical cord. Martin Luther King, it turns out that a fetus can get oxygen from its mother only because this blood pigment found in the red blood cells has a greater affinity for oxygen in the fetus than it does in the mother.
Hemoglobin.
That's what I want to hear. Hemoglobin. Nicely done. And with that, our score is very tight. Almost a dead heat. 135, 130. Go green. Science potpourri for 5 points. The last question before we take our first break. There were lots of precious gems in The Wizard of Oz, not diamonds and sapphires.
Emeralds.
And?
Rubies.
Yes, absolutely right. The Emerald City and those ruby slippers. And with that, we have a tie score. 135 all as we head to our first break. We'll be back with this semifinal match in just a moment. Don't go away. And welcome back to Science Bowl. Thank you for spending part of your day with us. As we said at the top of the show, this is one of two semifinal matches. In our first game, Drew Freeman emerged victorious, and today's winner will go on to play Drew Freeman for this year's middle school championship. But all of our players today, no matter what happens, get to take home Audubon field guides. We have these for our players, a token of our esteem, a reward for having made it through all of our competition. They can get mammals, birds, insects, or reptiles, their choice, just as a memento of their year here on Science Bowl. And some of our players have some of these books already because they are all veterans. They have been here before, mostly in their elementary schools and also representing their middle schools. Let's go first to Kenmoor, the winningest school in Science Bowl history. 7 championships in 24 years. So there must be something in the water over there at Kenmoor. Tell us how you prepare for all of this, Vishnu.
Well, at our school, Miss Moore, she's a really good science teacher, so we learn a lot from her.
Yeah.
But we also drill a lot. Like, we use like questions like we print off the internet, and we have a buzzer system there, so we can really practice on the buzzer a lot.
And that makes a lot of difference, doesn't it?
Yeah, it makes a lot of difference.
Who's the principal over there at Kenmoor?
Miss Mahafadli.
And she's a great advocate for kids, and I know her well. And your sponsor, Miss Moore, new this year, and boy, she jumped in with both feet, and she is just phenomenal. Any alternates on your team?
Yeah, we have Selena Healy, Kenmoor Dastani, and Jonathan Plain.
Wonderful. We'll bring them out in a little while so you can meet them and Miss Moore. And Vishnu, your list of academic achievements, goes on and on and on. Tell me how many times you've been on Science Bowl. Have you kept a count?
I don't know. I know I've been on for the past 3 years.
3 years, right. You were with Glenarden Woods Elementary and now with Kenmoor. What do you want to do someday?
I want to get into politics.
Yeah.
I want to be president.
Yeah. And I think we know that anybody can do that if they set their mind to it, and they've got the smarts, and you certainly have that, and it's great to have you back all the time. Alex, nice to see you back again. We have a picture in our green room of this team with Michelle Obama. They participated in the National Science Bowl, the middle school division. What was that like, Alex?
That was definitely a great honor, and definitely truly one of the best competitions, because we know that it's really for real, and it's definitely a good training for us to prepare for even bigger things to do in life.
Absolutely right. You're so well spoken. You have such a great vocabulary. You know so much about science. Tell me how you come by all of your knowledge, Alex. What's your secret?
Well, science is really, it's not like everyone particularly will get the best out of science, but the main part is to keep interest in the science and whatever you're interested in, and to work hard to achieve those goals.
Absolutely right. That work ethic counts for so much. Nice to have you back with us. Ahmed, nice to have you back. How many times have you been on this game?
I haven't kept account.
More than you can count. And of course, you were here in your elementary school, which was?
Glenarden
Woods, just like Vishnu. Tell me what you hope to do someday.
I'm not completely sure. I just want to be in a field of science.
Yeah. Well, you'll do well whatever you choose. I know you like to read in your spare time. And what else do you do in your spare time?
I like to watch documentaries and play video games sometimes.
Very good. Sounds like a normal guy to me, and you're doing really well here. Congratulations. Martin Luther King, twice county champion in 24 years. You guys have all been here before as well. And Robin Wiltison, the great principal over there at Martin Luther King. Miss Beth Reyes, who has been sending us great teams year after year after year. She's a phenomenal teacher. And Karthik, tell me about Martin Luther King and Science Bowl. You guys have a secret too. What is it?
Well, we just study a lot, and Miss Reyes, she drills us on everything, and then we just and if we get answers wrong, we just keep on studying, and we increase our knowledge of science.
And that's obviously working because you do so well over here. Karthik, someday you're going to be?
It's hard to say.
Hard to say, that's right. We were talking earlier, and there are too many options today, and when you've got so much talent as you do, it's hard to kind of confine yourself. But I can see you multitasking whatever you do. What do you do in your spare time?
I read books, I play chess, and I play video games.
Wonderful. Do you have any alternates on your team?
Yes, we have Chidigo Benici.
Wonderful. And Chidi will be out in just a little while. Liam, nice to have you back. Bond Mill veteran.
Oh, yes.
And lots of poise and calm on set here. Good-looking guy over there. Tell me what you want to do someday.
Well, I would really like to go into one of the chemistry fields, and I'd like to start off at the University of Maryland.
Wonderful. And I know you mentioned Johns Hopkins to me, too, that might be a possibility. I can see you being successful there. And Zach, nice to have you back with us, also a Bond Mill alumnus over there. And you've been on the show many, many times. What's your secret? How do you prepare for this, Zach?
Well, for Christmas, I always get these, I get cool books that help me learn the science, and then basically school.
In school, yeah. Because you're in great environments, both of you, at both of your schools, because you've got knowledgeable teachers, and it's a good area, a good environment for you to pick up so much. Zach, what do you want to do someday?
I want to actually help cure diseases.
Yeah, and there are more and more out there, and we've beaten smallpox, but that's one of the few victories. So there's a lot of work to do, and I admire you for that ambition. Let's get back to our game. Tie score, 135 all. Points to give away. We've got some big questions. All right, I have a feeling it's going to be another good round. Let's get back to it. Go green.
Green thinks 15. Green thinks for 15.
Green thinks for 15 points. Teams, if you're comparing opposites, people say it's like apples and oranges. Well, yeah, they are different because oranges grow on evergreen trees. Martin Luther King?
On deciduous trees?
That's right. Apples grow on deciduous trees. That is a big difference. Good. Green.
Dateline science for 20.
Dateline for 20 points. Teams, your question is as follows. It was just announced recently that the Bloom Box, a fuel cell, may take houses off the grid. You may not have to pay Pepco anymore because this Bloom Box takes oxygen and a fuel like methane. You mix them. Yes, Kenmoor. What you thinking?
It makes propane and it uses that as a fuel source.
Not quite, not quite. In this fuel cell, in this Bloom Box, mixing oxygen and a fuel like methane will produce an electrical current. So basically, you're changing what kind of energy into electrical energy?
Chemical?
Chemical to electrical. Exactly right. Good. Go.
Green things for 5. Green things for 20.
Green things for 20 points. Teams, plant growth is determined, as animal growth is, by hormones, including what kind of hormone is found in plants, too, that we associate with bulking up? Kenmoor.
HGH?
HGH. Not really. Not really. Martin Luther King, can you tell us what kind of hormones are found in plants, too, just like in animals? They help to regulate growth that we associate with bulking up.
Growth hormone?
Good try, both of you. Steroids. Steroids are what we're looking for there. Good try, both teams. Go again, green.
Let's get physical for 20.
Let's get physical for?
20.
20 points. Question is as follows. There are two kinds of these heavenly bodies, but the ones that are made of iron seem to get through the atmosphere easier. Martin Luther King.
Asteroids?
Judges? Not quite. Not quite. Kenmoor, these kinds of heavenly bodies, there are two kinds. The ones that are made of iron can get through the atmosphere easier than the stony ones.
Meteorites?
That's what I want to hear. The meteorites are the ones that get through. And the stony ones, sometimes you can't tell what they are because they look like what we've got here already. Good. Red.
Science potpourri for 20.
Potpourri for 20 points. Teams, your question is as follows. Scientist Richard Feynman was on the government panel that determined that faulty O-rings caused this space shuttle disaster. Martin Luther King.
Challenger?
That's what I want to hear. The Challenger, not the Columbia. Good. Go. Green.
Body systems for 20.
Body systems for 20 points. Teams, before refrigeration and supermarkets, food spoiled easily. The reason why most human beings back then did not get food poisoning is because of what very strong? Martin Luther King.
Preservative, which is salt.
No, I was about to say we did not get food poisoning back then because of what very strong acid in our stomachs.
Hydrochloric acid?
That's what I want to hear. Hydrochloric acid took care of all those bacteria that were growing on our food. All right, 175 to 190. King has a 15-point advantage. Vishnu, you choose.
Zooparade for 20.
Zooparade for 20 points. Seems a multiple-choice question. Jellyfish, coral, and sea anemones all belong to which of the following groups? Martha King.
Arthropods?
Not arthropods, no. Jellyfish, sea anemones, and coral all belong, Kenmoor, to the group called cetaceans, crustaceans, or cylinderates.
The third one? What was the third?
Which was? Cetaceans, crustaceans, or cylinderates.
Cylinderates.
Cylinderates is absolutely right. Yes, indeed. Good. Go. Red.
Dateline science for 5.
Dateline for 5 points. Teams, what meteorological term that means the child caused so much?
Sun.
Again?
The sun.
Not the sun, no. What meteorological term that means the child caused all of the snow this past winter but reduced the number of hurricanes this past summer?
El Nino.
El Nino is the name of the child in Spanish there. Yes, 200 to 190, still very close. 10-point advantage, Vishnu.
Dateline science for 25.
Dateline for 25 points. Teams, Alexander Fleming once said, one sometimes finds what one is not looking for. Kenmoor.
Penicillin.
He found penicillin. He certainly did for 25 points. That was his accidental discovery. Go.
Green things for 5.
Green things for 5 points. Teams, the holy grail of horticulture is finding this kind of plant that you don't have to mow. Kenmoor.
Grass.
Grass. Imagine that. Grass you never had to mow, but you could just sit out there and look at. Good. Red.
Let's get physical for 5.
Let's get physical for 5 points. Teams, what book in the Twilight series means this lunar body? Martin Luther King.
Eclipse.
Not eclipse, no. What book in the Twilight series means this lunar body that you can't see?
New Moon.
New Moon is right. Good, go.
Body systems for 25.
Body systems, 25. Big one in that category. Teams, what P initial term is both the roof of your mouth and... Martin Luther King.
Plate. I'll give it to Zach.
Zach.
Plate?
Not plate. Good try. What P initial term is the roof of your mouth and a board that an artist uses to mix his colors.
Palette.
Palette is the word. Yes, good. Go.
Zoo parade for 5.
Zoo parade for 5 points. Teams, there are birds in Southeast Asia called lorikeets that look like little parrots that have an affinity for fermenting fruit. Martin Luther King.
It's between rotten and ripe. Rotten. I'll give it to Liam.
What do you want to say, Liam?
It's between rotten and ripe.
Not quite. Guess where we're headed, Kenmoor? Because these lorikeets eat fermenting fruit, they're sometimes late getting back to the roost because, how do I say it? They're a little what?
Drunk.
They're drunk, yes indeed. Good, go.
Green things for 25.
Green things for 25. Big one in that category, teams. A multiple choice question. All of the bushes that were bent over by the heavy snows this past winter will right themselves because of the plant's very strong... Martin Luther King.
Stem.
Not stem. No, the choices were going to be for you. They're very strong photoperiodism, photosynthesis, or phototropism.
Phototropism?
That's exactly right. Phototropism, which is the bending of plants toward light. Good, so have faith they will be back. 2 questions left. Red.
Zoo parade for 25.
Zoo parade for 25. Teams, in the movie Avatar, practically all of the animals are hexapodal. Meaning what? They have what?
6 feet.
6 feet. Good. Last question of the game. Let's get physical for 25 points. This is it. Teams, the newest chemical element, number 112. Yes, Vishnu.
Astronomer?
Not astronomer, no. Martin Luther King. The newest chemical element, which is Copernicum, number 112, is also the heaviest element. It is 277 times heavier than what lightest element on the periodic table?
I could just say so.
Hydrogen?
It is hydrogen. Absolutely right for 25 points. What a valiant try. It looks like, though, Kenmoor has done it. We'll be back in just a moment. Don't go away. And welcome back to Science Bowl. Virtuoso performances by both teams. 6 masterful students playing Science Bowl like nobody else can do it. What a game. We are proud of all of them. Our final tally is Martin Luther King 240, Kenmoor 290. Congratulations to Ahmed and Vishnu and Alex. You're in the winner's circle yet again. And look at the shadow team back there. All of the alternates, Jonathan, Kamyar, Selena, Miss Moore, and Miss Savercool. Thank you. I know how proud you are. Martin Luther King, let's see some smiles over there. You guys are champions. What a game you played. Zach and Karthik and Liam. I don't know what I'll do. I won't be able to see you again. You've been here so many times. Chitty, congratulations to you, and Miss Reyes, thank you for always being such a great sponsor and a great supporter of Science Bowl. And thank you. We're headed to the finals. It's Drew Freeman and Kenmoor. We'll see you there. Bye-bye.